All right, I'm over it. I'm tired of all the hoses at my feet and everywhere all around the shop. So today's the day we fix that. So the air compressor that I connect to is about 20 feet away from my table to the left. And there's two other guys that connect to that air compressor, and one is 10 feet in front of the compressor and one is about 40 feet away from the compressor, and his hose crosses my table. So there are hoses freaking everywhere and I'm tired of it. We've had this compressor air piping system sitting in a box on a shelf for a little while now. It never got put up because we're always just busy doing something, but today is the day that I knock it out. So I'll go ahead and show you everything that comes in the box so you know what you're getting yourself into. There are 4 of these air hose receptacles. When mounted to the wall, these are what you'll directly connect your air hose to. Next, you have plugs that attach to the air hose receptacles. So if you want to stop right where you're at, you can plug all the extra holes so no air will come through. And also in this bag you have a connector that has a shutoff valve on it. So if you want to keep going through this receptacle with your line, you can shut that line off anytime you please. Next, you're going to have everything that connects the pipe to the receptacles. That is your 90-degree turns, your direct to the receptacle connectors, and your T connectors. Obviously they send a pipe cutter because not everybody has one of those. So there's 2 options you can use to hook up directly to the receptacles. You can take your male connector off of your air hose, screw your air hose into the piece that they give, and then screw that piece directly into the receptacle. But that's not what we're going to be doing. The whole goal here is ease of motion and cleanliness. So we're going to use male and female connections, plug that directly in. That way we can pop our hoses off at any given time and get the heck out of everybody else's way. So what's really good about this system is that you can go in wall or on top of wall. Obviously we've got siding on top of all of our studs, so we're going to go on top of wall, but it would have been nice if we could have gone with all the tubes inside the wall. So just to get started here, I'm adding all the parts and pieces to the receptacle. You've got to plug the holes in the back because those holes are for the in-wall configuration. You can see I already have the connector on top that the hose will plug into, and then you have to have the shutoff valve on the bottom. So if you want to continue your line, you can. This is what your configuration will look like if you're screwing directly into your receptacle, but like I said before, we're not going to be screwing in. We're going to be using the male and female connections. This is going to be my source receptacle. All my hoses will come from here, and at the very top of this receptacle, the hose is going to connect directly to my compressor. As you start running line and connecting everything to your receptacles, make sure to use plumbing tape because you're going to have air leakage no matter what, but you want to minimize that as best as possible. So I've never done this before and I don't mess with much tubing in general, so I tightened the crap out of these connections. I don't know if there's a recommended pressure, but I don't want air leakage. That's another thing that was really important to me, was to make sure that the system worked and functioned really well. So do whatever you feel is best. I'm like super strong, so mine are going to be really tight, but do whatever works for you. There is 100 feet of tubing in this system that we got that is way more than enough for what we need, and I kind of wish they would have sent more receptacles for the system because I don't feel like even in a bigger shop it's enough receptacles and connections and all that stuff. Now after I got that first connection on, I took it to my source, which is the compressor, attached it to the wall using some clips that we had laying around, and cut it where I'm going to branch off and have my first T connector and a receptacle. They sent this funny tool, I forgot what it was called, a reamer, a bevel or something. It creates a bevel so that whenever you do put your connections on, there's a nice clean contact. So you want to make sure you use that before you put any connections on. So after I put the receptacle that I'll be using, I'm going to go up and over this door, off to the left, down to the bottom of the door, and have a receptacle on the other side. That way my coworker whose hose crosses my table can plug directly into that wall and it'll be a straight shot to his table, and I'll never have to step over it again. Getting your connections tight while you're up on a ladder is kind of difficult, but all you have to do is hold the connection piece, tighten it with a wrench, and hope you did your best. And like I said before, I'm really strong, so I mean it's going to be great no matter what. This tubing is pretty stiff, so about every 3 feet, and any time I use a connection or make a change in direction, I strap it to the wall as best as I can. This kit didn't come with anything to strap it to the wall, but you can use shark bites or all kinds of stuff that you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's to strap it to the wall. It's pretty common sense stuff. So as you can see, everything is coming together beautifully. Hopefully this is going to take away all the tripping hazards that we have. Alright, so we basically wrapped it up. I need to run to Harbor Freight really quickly because I'm missing a few pieces. I'm going to go grab a 1-inch pipe clamp for the tube that connects directly to our compressor because there's not a fitting that I'm going to be able to use. So we're just going to strap that bad boy right to the compressor. Now it's time to plug in and test it out. I know this was a fast video, and that is probably a reflection of how easy it was to put this system together. But just for good measure, I'll take you all the way from the compressor to the very final receptacle so you can see every little bit of this system and how it all runs. As you can see, I don't have to step on this hose anymore because it goes straight to the table it belongs to, and my hose is right here behind my table and doesn't have to come all the way from the left. The third hose from the third table is now up over the bay door, so we freed up all the floor space and we're only using 2 out of the 3 inlets for the air compressor, and if we need an extra hose for some random reason like airing up a flat tire, we can do that. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'd love to know what you think about the system in the comment section down below. Is this something that you'd have in your shop, or is this something that's only suitable for a big shop like this one?